What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and I am here today with another review for Young, Famous, and African, you guys. This is season 2, so this is going to be me talking about episodes 3 and episode 4, right? So before we go ahead and get into those reviews, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on my channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and sharing the video. I think I may have said that twice. If I did, chalk it up to I am tired. But yeah, you guys, with that out the way, without further ado, let's go ahead and discuss Young, Famous, and African, shall we? All right, you guys, so this episode 3, it picks up where episode 2 ended, with Kanye telling everybody basically fuck you, right? And I do like the fact that Andile was telling Kanye like, yo, we're supposed to be your friends. You're being rude to me, you're being rude to Annie, you're being rude to everybody in this motherfucker, right? So I didn't have an issue with that. So Zari. So here's my thing. Everybody on this show, they do some things that I'd be like, y'all kind of foul for what y'all do, right? So Zari, I had a whole ass issue with Zari in this episode because at one point, Zari was sitting down with Kaylee and she's telling Kaylee that Tubaba is having a baby with a personal banker. And Kaylee was like, how do you know that that's true? She said, because it's out there. Like, you don't think that people put out fake stories every day? So for you to put that out there as if it's factual and you know that for a fact, I just did not like that at all, right? So Kanye, she pulled Swanky to the side. She apologized to him because you guys remember the last time they all got together, so excuse me, y'all. The last time they got together, he brought in Bonang, and Annie, Nadia, and Kanye, they went outside, right? So Swanky says, so we finally get into the issue between Swanky and Annie. So we'll talk about Swanky's issue, right? So Swanky says that there was a phone call that someone was on and he overheard the conversation with Annie. It was Annie and another person, and Annie was talking negatively about him, right? So that's why he doesn't rock with Annie. We'll talk about Annie a little later in the review what she says, right? So let's pause here and let's go ahead and move forward. So next up we see Andile. So Andile is on a podcast and Annie is joining him, right? So Annie is going to be talking about these rumors about Tubaba having another baby. So for me personally, I want to say this: when it comes to Annie, I don't have no personal feelings about if Annie wants to be with Tubaba and you know, she likes her relationship. She's happy in her relationship. If that, honestly, she doesn't look like a happy woman, but if she wants to put out that appearance that she's happy, I have nothing to say about it, right? I will say, you know, in episode 4, he got extremely disrespectful and I did not like it, right? Episode 4, he got extremely ass disrespectful. But Annie is saying that, you know, these are rumors, they're not true, that this woman that's the personal banker, she's been pregnant a few times, right? And so she's saying that the rumors are not true. If that's what she says, I choose to believe her, right? Until someone shows a photo of this woman walking around wherever the hell she lives with a baby bump, then I will believe that I'll believe that she's pregnant, right? But like I said, in episode, I don't want to talk about episode 4 just yet because I'm getting ahead of myself because I really want to go into it, but we're not. So we see Zari and Andile, so they met up with each other, right? So she brings up each time that they've been around each other and how they've tried to talk to each other and how people basically feel like I guess it's like a slap in the face or it's disrespectful to Diamond, right? I gave you guys my opinion on how I feel about that. I don't think it's disrespectful to Diamond. I think for me, when it comes to Diamond, it seems like a little bit of a control issue for me. And I do also agree with what Zari said. The reason that Diamond has an issue with Andile and Zari is because essentially they are the same person. They're players. So not Andile, but Diamond sees himself in Andile and he doesn't want that to happen to the mother of his children. And I don't have an issue with that. I've actually spoke about that. I don't have an issue with that whatsoever, right? So next up we have Diamond. So Diamond and Fantana, they had a date at his house, right? Again, a lot of the things that I want to talk about happened in episode 4, and I don't want to get ahead of myself. So we're gonna kind of speed through, but not speed through. But Diamond and Fantana, they're having a date at his house, right? We all know that there's sexual chemistry. There's some kind of chemistry between them, right? And definitely sexual chemistry. I mean, look at the dress that she wore. I don't have an issue with her showing her skin, but Mama knew what she was going there for, right? So they talked about Zari. He talks about the fact that Zari wants to have another kid with him, but I think she wants to do it via surrogate or whatever, right? So at one point, he told her he's getting ready to go on tour. He wanted a kiss from her, and she gave him a kiss, right? Ooh, then they went upstairs. I believe they had sex, but that ain't got nothing to do with me, right? So let's pause here and move forward. So next up, you guys, Annie. So her family came to visit her, right? So we see the guys. So Naked is always talking about his dick and sex. Like, I guess Naked thinks that sex cures everything. Cool. So the guys were playing, it was just the guys, so they were hanging out without the girls, right? Even Swanky was there. I was like, nah, y'all can look at Swanky and clearly tell that Swanky don't play basketball, right? So the guys talked about Kanye and how disrespectful she was to them. They asked Lewis how he felt. So Lewis was talking about, she asked him to come there and to give a toast. So they had him give him his toast. It also seems as if Lewis has a crush on Fantana, right? So speaking of Lewis, he was trying to figure out like who in the group is single. Not very many of them. Nadia says she has a boyfriend, right? I don't think he would go for Zari. Annie is married. Fantana is single. Bonang, we'll talk about Bonang in a little bit. I think Bonang is single. Kanye, she is with her boyfriend who is in Dubai, so technically she's single. Kaylee is with Naked, who thinks about sex all the time. So not very many women in the group are single, right? So we also see on the reverse side that Fantana, she invited all the girls out, right? So they're doing painting. They're painting a half naked man, right? So Nadia was the first one there, and Nadia and Fontana were talking about Diamond, right? So she told her that she had a date with Fantana. Well, Fantana told Nadia she had a date with Diamond, but she didn't tell her, the logistics of the date, right? So at one point while they were painting, we saw Bonang. So Bonang pulled Fantana aside, right? Basically, she's trying to get the 411 on all the tea, right? And I peeped Bonang right in this episode. I was like, Bonang is not a friend to anybody. Bonang just wants to get all the tea so that way she can run it back to the next person, and that's exactly what she did. And I was like, girl, you just messy. So, did we talk about this? No, it did not happen in this scene. So next up, let's go ahead and talk about this scene with Tubaba. So Tubaba is meeting up with all the guys, right? So, he's telling, before all the guys got there, he was telling Andile, like, how he feels about the situation with the rumors that are out there about him. Okay. I can't really go in too deep into it because I have not gotten to episode 4, so I will hold my opinions until I get there, right? Because I do feel like with Tubaba, you actually feed into, like, the things that people say about you, you fuel it. And I do hate the fact that your daughters or your kids can Google the things that people say about you and then look at you in a different way, especially your daughters. So I do hate that. But like I said, also, you have a reputation, and again, you've add fuel to the fire. So that it is what it is, right? So Lewis told the men when he got there that he wants to be a father. Basically, he wants to be a single father. He wants to, he wants the woman basically to have perfect genes because he wants a perfect baby. I was like, oh, okay. So then he was talking, I don't know if it was this scene or if it was when they were playing basketball, but there was a scene where he was talking about Bonang and how he invited Bonang to his country, right, for Fashion Week, and there was an issue when she got there. It was an issue with her room, and I think she ended up going back home, right? So Swanky met up with Bonang and Fontana. Bonang, this is why I said Bonang is messy, right? Bonang told Fontana's business to Swanky about her, doing whatever she did with Diamond. And I was like, lady, then had a mother thing to do with you. That was that woman's business. So why are you spilling her tea? Did not like that, right? So Swanky told Bonang the story all wrong. He told her that, I forgot what Swanky told her, but whatever it is, he didn't relay it the correct way that Lewis said it, right? So now Bonang is, feeling the way about Lewis. She feels like he's lying on her. And we're going to talk about that in episode 4. So we're going to pause here and we're going to go ahead and just jump into episode 4 of Young, Famous, and African. All right, you guys. So this is episode 4. The episode was titled The Queen Bee, right? So we see Bonang, and Bonang has invited out Annie and Zari. And when she, like I said in episode 3, I can kind of see through Bonang that Bonang is there to get the mess started, right? So she says she's trying to get to know Annie. I'm like, I feel like what you're trying to do is get the tea from Annie. So this is the point where Annie told her side of the situation with her and Swanky, right? So Annie is saying that her and Swanky were supposed to have a party, and I think it was around, so the party had something to do with this show, right? So I think it might have been a launch party or a premiere party, right? And that they were having. So she says, so this is Annie's words, that Annie says that Swanky went on behind her back and did the party anyways and did not invite her, right? So there's something, so there's a truth in the middle, because Swanky says one thing, Annie says another. So whatever the truth is lies within the middle, right? So she felt like he betrayed her, right? And so Zari told Zari when she got there, Annie didn't know that Zari was coming. So Zari told her that Swanky says that Annie started acting brand new after he introduced her to some people that he knew, right? So Annie started laughing, right? Annie also played for them the voice text that Swanky had, sent to her when the rumors came out about Tubaba allegedly having another baby on the way, right? Now, me personally, so Annie didn't feel like it was sincere, right? That is her interpretation of how she felt it was, right? I have no dog, no cat in that fight, right? I did not like the fact that she played it for Zari and Bonang, because Zari nor Bonang really have your best interest at heart, right? So then they started talking about Kanye and how Zari feels like Kanye is a snake in the grass. I was like, you know what? Honestly, I can damn see it. I can see her being a snake in the grass. But let's pause here and move forward, right? Now, on the flip side, we have Nadia. She's out with Kanye, Swanky, and Kaylee, right? So they're talking about Zari and Annie at the event and how they spoke to each other. It was a high, so it wasn't like they were being best girlfriends with each other, right? So Nadia and Kanye, they don't really feel as if Annie is a friend to them, right? They feel like Annie mostly befriended them last year because of her issue with Zari and the fact that they defended her, right? So they don't feel that she's friends. I love the fact that Kaylee stood him and said to Kanye, like, you told her, fuck you. That was rude. I was like, thank you for saying that. Because it really was rude to just say, fuck you. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that to my friends. I'm not going to disrespect my friends and be like, fuck you, bitch. Fuck you. Fuck you is a hard and harsh, strong word, right? I reserve fuck you for people that I don't give a fuck about, right? Or unless, I was about to say something else. Fuck you unless I am, the literal sense, having sex with someone. But just to my friends, I would never say that, right? So the next scene that we got is the scene that I wanted to talk about. This was the most disrespectful scene that I've ever saw on a reality show in my goddamn life, right? So Annie and Tubaba went out with Andile, Nadia, and Kaylee and Naked, right? They're having dinner. So at one point, Andile they were talking about their languages that they speak, right? And at one point, Andile brought up this song that Tubaba performs, right? Now, Andile, I did not like the fact that he kept sitting at this table. He kept putting it on this situation on Nadia, right? Because at one point, Tubaba was talking about you can make love to the person that you love, but and I'm gonna just put it in a nutshell. What he was basically saying, whenever your dick get hard, you can fuck whoever you want to fuck. And I was just like, oh, is that how we feel? So Annie and Nadia kept saying, is that pertaining to your relationship? Like, does that go towards your relationship? Is that how you feel in your relationship? But Andile kept telling Nadia, you're fueling it. You're adding to it. She's like, I'm not. This is him. He's talking, not me. And I was like, exactly. That ain't Nadia. And I just did not like the fact that he kept doing that. And that goes back to what I was trying to say earlier when I was talking about Tubaba and the kids, right? I do hate the fact that your kids can Google this shit, look up whatever they can look up, right? But you saying these disrespectful things in front of your wife, even if it doesn't pertain to your marriage, that is disrespectful, sir, to sit there and say that in front of your wife and not say that that's not how I operate in my relationship. That's all you had to say. I don't operate that way in my relationship. I love my wife. My wife is the only person that I want to have sex with. When my dick gets hard, I want to stick into my wife. Like, that's all he had to say. And I just did not like, again, I just did not like the fact that I felt like Andile was trying to put all of this on Nadia. But that's really it, you guys. So let's pause here and wrap up this episode review. So Swanky was having a gathering with Zari, Fontana, Bonang, and Luis, right? So he told them what happened. You know, this is Luis. So Luis, he showed up, and Luis apologized to Bonang, right, for what happened with his event. And I was listening to it. I'm like, ma'am, he said that the issue was the rain. That ain't what Swanky told you. Swanky told you something about some damn flowers. This man ain't mentioning nothing about no damn flowers or that you even acted a fool because you even asked him, did I do anything? He said no. He's apologizing, but then she wants to keep saying you're apologizing for lying on me. That man never said what Swanky said. Those words came out of Swanky's mouth. You could have asked him, well, you could have said to him, well, you know, me and Swanky had a conversation and Swanky told me this or Swanky told me that. And that man could have cleared up the situation right then and there. Like, girl, she was doing the absolute most in this scene, right? Like, she was doing the most and she was getting on my nerves. Zari. Ugh. Zari was messy to see. So here's my issue with Zari. Zari was messy when she went and told Swanky the fact that what happened between Bonang, Zari, and Annie on that boat. I was like, damn, is there no type of loyalty among them? These people are not, some of these people are just not really friends like that because, I mean, damn. I ain't finna, see, that's the other thing about me. I'm not a messy person, so I wouldn't do no shit like that. But since season one, I've saw Zari for who she is, and it is what it is, right? So once again, Swanky is telling his side of what happened with him and Annie. He's saying that he's the one that brought the idea to her management. Her management went to her. Management went to her. She wanted to do it without him. He was on the phone and overheard it, right? As I stated, whatever the truth is, it lies within the middle, right? So Fantana and I'm not sure. I want to talk to you. So Fantana and Luis, they went to the side. They had a little, you know, they chopped it up, had a little conversation with each other, right? And he wants to take her out on a date. They get back to the table. He finds out that she went on a date with Diamond, right? Miss Bonang over here, she got in her feelings. I was like, girl, what are you in your feelings for? Because I got what he was trying to say. He was trying to say, like, she's a talented artist, but she's going to get wrapped up in a situation with Diamond. and he doesn't want he doesn't want that to get her music to be overshadowed by any scandals with Diamond. But Bonang was in her feelings. I was like, girl, if you just don't like the man, just say that. Jesus the Christ. But that's it, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about episodes 3 and 4 of Young, Famous, and African. And I will be back for episode 5 and 6, then 7 and 8, and then episode 9 will be solo. So yeah, we got episodes 5 and 6, 7 and 8, and then 9. So we got three more videos that I'm gonna do, I think. So yeah, I'll see you guys for those. Bye.